Good morning, everyone. Mike McConville here again, Stratford, Ontario, Canada for StringTechWorkstations. So I'm tucking into a couple more repairs here. I've got this Gretsch that needs the frets leveled at the neck junction. I'll illustrate that in a second with a straight edge nut. This is the third guitar from this customer, and this is the third compensated nut. So I'm into my second week now working with this new GPS model, and I couldn't be happier. Again, having those tools sort of tucked away like that, and to be able to just close it up, clip the lid into place, and set it aside for a bit. And the neck platforms are milled out of solid plastic. They're machined, CNC, drilled and tapped. So this guitar will be set up for these 10 to 52 strings with a plain third. Right now there's a wound third on there. I talked to the customer about that wound third versus plain third, and for someone that is strumming chords most of the time, like 90% of the time, a wound third's a good idea. It intonates beautifully, and you don't get the same amount of displacement on the initial attack strum of the pick. However, with a wound third, you can kiss the whole idea of bending the third string goodbye. So we did settle on a plain third, and we'll keep you in the loop as we move along with this one. Each string will be in a different location because we're going to intonate this guitar so that it plays perfectly in tune. So before I get started, I just wanted to illustrate what we're taking care of. So this, hear that clicking? All the way across that neck to body junction. So now another thing I found about working with the GPS unit this last couple of weeks is the straps actually pull the guitar into that foam, and it sinks into the foam, makes an impression of, in this case, the sort of arched back. You can't budge that thing. So we're going to take care of this, dress the neck to body junction, and of course, as always, my Patreon subscribers will get a front row seat play-by-play. I can't say enough to all of you who have supported me over the years, tracking me down to my workshop from around the world and ordering your StringTech workstations to Denmark and Australia and Malta and France and England and clear across the States. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. It's been quite a journey. So here we are. This is it. This is the GPS unit. For those of you who are looking for the real deal flight case, we do offer that. This is the GPS unit. So it's essentially the unit, as we sell it, bolted into a flight case. The neck assembly is tucked into the side of the case here. You pop it out and slip it into place, and you're ready to go. So when the tour is done and you're back home in your workshop, you can just leave it in the flight case. If you want, you can pull out those Miramichi knockdown fasteners and bolt it to your workbench. But honestly, with the weight of it, I don't think you're going to need to. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was this. On the underside of the case, you have these huge rubber feet. Once you bolt that thing into this case, I don't think you'll ever take it out. Where you set that on your bench and you can plane a fingerboard, do anything you're doing, and it's not going to budge. And that is the GPS in a regulation style flight case, ready to go anywhere in the world. The customer was saying it's just impossible, he can't tune the thing. So between the compensated nut, an intonated bridge, and the fret dress in perfect action, this thing will play 100%. Well, the Gretsch is done, and as you'll see, the compression spring is much slower to react to bring the note back to center than the typical 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 expansion springs that you have in the back of a Strat. So we'll go string to string and give this bar a tap and see what happens. It'll just quickly play a couple of chords. Same chord, an octave higher. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. For my regular subscribers, you've seen me do this root 6 and 10th thing, moving diatonically along the neck. In this case, it's G major, E minor. So I'm going to lay that down, and then 1 octave lower, I'm going to do the exact same thing, just to give us a chance to check the intonation in a completely different part of the neck, playing exactly the same chords. Now, as the blot thickens, I'm going to add a third part that's actually a harmony to the first 2 parts. Okay, so the rhythm I gave to these 3 parts is right? So this is what all 3 parts sound like played together.